Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we wanted to set the mood real quick. That was Chris Brown with This Christmas. So now, ladies and gentlemen, I told you I had three queens in the building. You know, when Brother John got the queens in the house, Brother John have to act accordingly. But it is a serious topic that we're going to cover. And I promise you, we're going to do our best that we make sure we give out all the right information, all the resources that people may need or may have questions during this conversation. Trust me, by the end of this conversation, you're going to have a lot of information. And if you want to have questions after the conversation, we have numbers and we'll be giving out websites and email addresses, all that good stuff. So, we are talking about the holiday blues versus seasonal depression. And Queens, I want y'all to, introduce yourself because I want people to understand these are real people, ladies and gentlemen, that's coming in here to give you this information. And I want y'all, because we got an OG in the house too. So please let everybody know, who you are, what you've been doing, what's your title, all that good stuff.
Okay, good evening. My name is Dr. Rita Williams, and I'm a licensed school social worker with Memphis-Shelby County Schools Mental Health Center. And I guess I'm the OG. I've been here for 30 years providing mental health services to our students and to families.
Wow. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Jacqueline Malone, Dr. Jacqueline Malone. I am a licensed school psychologist, and I've been with the district for 21 years as a school psychologist.
That's a baby OG right there. All right. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Dr. Ashley Johnson, and I'm a licensed school social worker, and I've been with the district for 4.5 years.
All right. So we got across the spectrum, from 4 to 30. All right.
Yes.
All right. So, ladies, it is the season, right? They say it's the season of joy and 'tis the season and this Christmas. And, we hear the songs that put us in that mood that it's that time. But I'm sure there are some people that when they hear these songs and start seeing, the Christmas lights and trees and matching pajama sets, because you know how we like to get on social media and do, matching pajama sets that may inadvertently, I don't want to say trigger people, but may trigger them to get sad or get depressed, right? So, I wanted to have this conversation because I think this is something that we in our community, African American community, not saying it's not in no other community, but I'm just saying this because I think we like to act like we are all got it together. We don't have no problems. Yeah, it's Christmas time, I'm good. But once you get in that house and if you by yourself, this conversation is for those people that feel like something like that during this time of year. So, break it down to me. What is holiday blues and seasonal depression versus is right? It's the verses. Holiday blues versus seasonal depression. So is that a difference?
There's a difference. And Dr. Jacqueline Malone, she's going to tell you about seasonal depression.
Okay.
Well, when you think about seasonal depression, you think about, okay, John, let me just
break it down.
Let me just put it this way to you.
Put it to me.
Now, suppose you leave here tonight and you go to bed. As soon as you get home, you're tired. You just go to bed.
Work too hard.
And then you wake up. You go to bed at like 4:30, 5 o'clock. And you wake up about 7:30 and you think it's 7:30 a.m. Have you ever had that experience?
Yes, ma'am, I've had. Yes.
And you frantic. Oh, Lord, I overslept.
Right.
And you get up and then you look out the door and it's dark. And it looks like early morning to you. And it's not until you look at your phone or you turn on the TV that you realize it's 7:30 p.m. and not a.m.
Ooh, yes.
And even though you know that you're frantic, because even though you've had just slept a few hours, some kind of way you're still off sync for the rest of the night. Until at some point you go back to sleep if you can. Now, when we're talking about a seasonal affect disorder, we're talking about the biological clock that everybody has. Okay. And so we are by nature, we like daylight, we like sunlight, we like warm weather, most of us. So when you're talking about an affect and a seasonal affect, an affect is a more of a observable behavior. You're either happy, sad, or you're something that obviously people can look at you and tell.
Different from the norm.
And different from the norm.
Okay.
So, according to that, I'm trying to put it in words that make sense for the average person.
Come on, that's who listening. The
So,
average person listening.
affect it's a difference to something.
Okay.
A difference to the season. So seasonal affect disorder, a seasonal difference to something.
Okay.
And
I
that's
got you.
the best way to put it.
All
And
right.
with that, when I talk about the circadian rhythm, everybody has a biological clock
We all
that
do.
restores itself every 24 hours.
Okay.
I believe me and my colleagues have a certain time every morning that we get up. Whether we set the alarm or not, we're going to
Right.
wake up at a certain time.
Right.
And when that clock is kind of distorted because of the change of the season, then we find ourselves very sluggish, having morbid thoughts about, it's nothing to do today. I'm not happy
Right.
with the day.
Right.
It's a mood that
Right.
I'm talking more about a mood
Right.
and a mood disorder. Now, unfortunately, it's not in the DSM-5.
What's the DSM-5?
The DSM-5 is like a book with all the different types of diagnosis.
Okay.
And if you're not in there, then you don't have a diagnosis. Okay, that's the best way I can put it. So we're saying all of that during the winter is when your biological clock gets distorted. Mostly it happened probably a week and a half to 2 weeks after daylight savings time is over.
That's why I was tripping.
So
Okay.
you don't know what it is, because for African Americans, we don't have a real language for depression or for mood disorder. We said sometime it's funny acting, something
Right.
just don't feel right.
Right.
We can't
right.
call
You
it what it
funny
is
acting, right,
because
right.
we don't have language for it.
Yes, ma'am. Gotcha.
So with that, when you change the time and the seasons change, then your biological clock needs to catch up with it. In some cases, it does not catch up with it. So the best way to look at is looking at melatonin. And melatonin is more of a hormone that we all have.
Right.
So melatonin rises when it's dark or
Okay.
when you sleep.
Okay.
But when daylight comes, the melatonin falls.
Okay.
And so if you get caught between the two,
So it's an imbalance.
it's hard. So it's an imbalance. So it's dark at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the evening. So here it is. I'm still hyped, but the weather is showing me something different.
Totally different.
So with that, people experience morbid thoughts, depression, fatigue. Other symptoms would be not wanting to exercise, not wanting to go places,
Right.
overeating carbohydrates.
Yes.
That's when people eat more
And
carbohydrates.
watching Christmas movies
Because-
and eating all that crazy stuff. Yes, ma'am.
Because of that. And when you talk about the seasonal pattern, it can occur basically, I'm thinking you'll feel more in touch with it because it's more of a touch thing,
Gotcha.
feeling,
Gotcha.
touching thing. I'm saying somewhere roughly around, what you say, Rita, about the second week in November? What you say?
I would think so, yeah.
That's what
It's
it is.
before Thanksgiving. for
Right. Oh, it
certain.
kick it
Before
right.
the peak of the holiday season.
Before the
Okay.
peak of the holiday season. And when you're talking to people that, what's wrong with you? They can't tell you because they have no words for it. When I talk to somebody, I just feel bad.
Right.
Well, what hurts? Nothing hurts.
Right.
I just feel bad.
Right.
And you're constantly trying to say, well, what is it? Tell me what feeling bad means. I just can't tell you other than that. I just don't feel like something is right. It's because of the change of the season.
And that's considered seasonal.
Affect.
But
Affect
FX,
disorder.
seasonal. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
It's all of that because it has to do with the season. Now, the beauty of it is by spring or summer,
It doesn't change.
it
flip.
changes, it flips, and it's better.
Okay. Thank you for that. Because you broke that all the way down. I got it. So now, you said, OG, that it's a difference.
That's a difference.
Now, I want to see how you bring this to me, because I see holiday blues and seasonal depression kind of the same, But since you said it was different, and Dr. Johnson, Ashley Johnson, Dr. Johnson, she was over there like, paying attention, shaking her head. But I want to see, what is holiday blues, since she broke down the seasonal depression or the say it again?
Affect disorder, seasonal affect disorder.
That's the
and some
the
people
word.
you might see the acronyms, might say SAD.
Right.
Yes.
SAD.
Yes.
But it's legitimate, the acronym. Okay,
SAD.
all right. So now you on the stage now. Tell us about the holiday
blues is situational. Situational.
Yes.
And
Okay.
I'm just going to say this, put myself out there personally. I lost my oldest brother, my middle brother, and my mom within 7 months. It was not from COVID. So this is the first year without. I lost my brother the night of Thanksgiving, but we got the call 2 days later. My oldest brother had died about 4 months, and then mom passed, whom I cared for, in January. So thinking about situational.
Gotcha.
So now, the holiday is coming. I love Christmas. I love everything. But I'm thinking, I don't have my loved ones. So I'm sad right now.
Off top, you said.
Because it's situational. And so that's what we have to look at. And so it might be that you were fine yesterday, but today you woke up and you were feeling sad because you were reflecting back on those memories. I know Mama used to cook these caramel cakes, and Mama used to do this and things like that.
Right.
And then we get caught up in all this Christmas commercialization. Every commercial, I gotta find the right gift. I don't have enough money, and the kids expecting this, and so that creates the holiday blues.
So wait a minute, so that could be my excuse if somebody want a Pandora bracelet. I could say, man, look, I didn't get that overtime.
And then think about some individuals that live alone.
Yes.
They're lonely.
Yes.
They're lonely, and especially I know we're focusing on children and families, but you have to focus on the elderly. The elderly have the most
point.
to lose because they have lost their friends, their loved ones, because they're older. So you look at that sort of thing, and I really want to focus on, and we have to teach our children, and I'm going to talk about this too. Less toys does not equal less love. Less toys.
You said something with that. But you preaching. You better start preaching. We got to get your cash app out of here.
Yeah,
Wait a minute.
Yeah. And so, a lot of,
Okay.
it doesn't mean less love. So a lot of parents were stressed out. You got to buy this, you got to buy this, and things like that.
PlayStation,
so,
Jordans, and all that. Yes.
Yeah. So unhealthy eating, alcohol consumption. So all those sort of things. And like Dr. Malone was saying, to get out and exercise, well, it's dark out there, so I'm not going right now.
Right.
So you're going to get into those unhealthy habits. So a lot of that's where the situational, the holiday blues, that's the difference. That's the difference. It's situation.
And Dr. Williams, another thing that we don't talk much about is relationships. Male and female relationships. Sometimes those relationships are not really strong before the holidays.
And they don't have magically get better because it's Christmas
it can
time.
be seasonal.
Right.
So that might
break up with you at Christmas time.
Exactly.
Right. So, Dr. Johnson, please touch on that, because you said that like straight up, like, it's like that.
I mean, because sometimes with the seasonal depression and just the holidays coming, it brings on stress. And so people feel overwhelmed.
Yes.
So additional signs to look for amongst your loved ones, amongst your friends, in those relationships, partnerships, are like depressed and irritable mood. How you respond to somebody. Somebody can call you, may feel defensive, and that might not be the case. And just how you react to people. Your change in appetite. Are you eating healthy or not eating healthy? Also going with the exercising, and then it being darker sooner outside. That impacts, being active and staying in a routine that you may have had in the spring and in the summer. Feeling more tired than usual is also something. But then we also have to look out burnout as well amongst people working in the schools or just parents.
Say that word one more time.
Burnout.
I think a lot of people know what that word means, right? Okay.
And then a loss of an interest and pleasure of doing things that you normally would do. So those are some things to look for as well.
So it seems like, and I know y'all in the profession, like, I don't want to say is it a burden, but like when you all come to work and say y'all cheerful, y'all in a good mood. For me, I'm always trying to see that person that something may be going on. Not to just look for something, but it's like I want my energy to affect them so, we can have a good atmosphere. Y'all do this work every day. And I know it could be stressful, it could be overwhelming, but it's like, when we see people and they may be going through this, all the stuff that we said, what's the best way to handle them? Because you don't want to mishandle them and say, oh, girl, you tripping. Oh, boy, man, get out of here. You all right. You going to be all right. It's easy to say stuff like that, but we know words matter, and sometimes words hurt.
Yes.
So what would be the first course of action if we come into a situation with a colleague or a family member or friend that displays some of what Dr. Johnson said?
For me, even like going into the schools, as the first word that you mentioned, it's more so handling somebody with care.
Bingo, okay.
And being just observant of the affect that you see, so you can notice.
I like how you
and
tied it
see,
together.
right?
So that Dr. Malone, okay.
Yeah, to see how somebody would to see how somebody will respond. But I think the first approach definitely will be to handle somebody with care.
And not saying like, how people quickly say, oh, I know what you're going through. I think we got to be careful saying that now, because I think you say you know what you're going through, but do you really know how they're feeling?
Right. Another thing is teaching students and others how to communicate their needs. We talk to children, we talk at them, but we don't teach them to have a voice back.
Yes, ma'am.
And so they can actually be able to explain what some of the feelings that they actually have. So it's teaching them how to communicate their needs.
Okay.
Yep.
OG.
And to acknowledge their feelings. Yeah.
How would they acknowledge their feelings? What's the
Well, a lot of students, especially with elementary students, a lot of times they don't know how. And I might have a little sheet with different expressions on there, feelings like happy, sad, mad, whatever. And so I said, well, just look at this and can you tell me, how you're feeling? And a lot of times, the students say, well, this picture right here, so I'm able to, to talk about that. And even with our middle and high school students, because we've been taught to not to, don't you express your feelings or tell people what's going on with you. We want to keep that in the house.
Yes.
So,
not tell nobody.
you better not tell anybody, and especially school social workers and school psychologists. So, so we're helping students. We're helping students with their social skills. We're helping students with their problem solving, and especially during the last 2 years with COVID, the social emotional learning aspects of our children. Just not being able to express, even not with children, but with adults.
Adults still don't. Adults don't know how to communicate in some situations.
And one thing that I have really, really learned is that when we were confined to the homes, stay at home, we didn't really know how to interact like family activities, what to do, and things like that. When I was growing up, we would do those puzzles or popcorn
Monopoly
and Monopoly and things like that. So it's like reteaching those skills to our parents and to our students.
It seemed like, and I'm glad you said dealing with adults. We act like we can communicate, like we think we communicating, but we're not. And that's why, and I'm glad y'all brought these symptoms or characteristics up, because we all can improve in some of these areas, because handling with care, I mean, you got to have the right spirit to do that. And it's going to take some time, but we have to be careful going into the season, ladies and gentlemen, when you see some of the people, displaying some of these adverse, break it down one more time. The seasonal adverse disorder, and then these characteristics, and the holiday blues. It's like we should be on alert, because we want everybody to be jolly, but we know that may not be the case. Now, are there some resources or things that we have in Memphis-Shelby County schools? Because, we talked about the characteristics and all this stuff is going on. Now we want to hit them with the where can you go to get some help or get some more information.
Okay.
What do we do?
And I just want to say, our district is really unique. We have a licensed mental health center.
Say it again.
Yeah, and we've had it for over 50 years, And so we have the resources. Every school, every elementary, middle, and high school have a mental health clinician that's assigned to their school.
That's
Every school. And I would just like to say, the guidance counselors are our first contact in the schools because they know the students.
Right. So
and
y'all don't come in and like, I got this. I'm Dr. Johnson.
No. We work collaboration with our schools, with our principals, with our teachers, with our guidance counselors. We have a referral process.
Gotcha.
So they make a referral. But even now, parents can go on Power School and they can make a referral for their students themselves, for their own children.
Wow.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah.
Dr. Williams, I've had situations where children have made referrals for other students.
Yes.
They'll come in and say, Doc, this is happening and she needs to talk to you and she's outside the door. Can you talk to her?
So, but these are real cases.
Real cases.
Sometimes they'll be playing games and tricks. So y'all get the official,
we get
like
the
they
official.
really need help. Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if a student is up under the age of 16, we have to have parental consent.
Okay.
But if they're over 16, they can, give their own consent.
Gotcha. Over 16, they can do it. Under 16, they need the parents.
But if it's a crisis, like if we have a student that's suicidal or talks about wanting to kill themselves or whatever, then we don't have to have parental consent.
Right.
We take care of that student and get that student the best possible care.
Right.
Okay.
And you all, just saying what you said about the 50 years, you know what I'm saying? Y'all licensed folks. Y'all legit, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like we need to continue to push that narrative, right? Because we got so many resources, right?
Mm-hmm.
That, can't nobody say nothing bad about the services that we provide. And don't we have 3 new centers
We
or
do.
parents?
We do.
Give us the title of them and where are they at?
We have that Family Wellness Center.
Family Wellness Center.
And
That's right.
we have extended hours now. So, we know parents work or some students may feel comfortable maybe coming after hours to talk, to our clinicians. So we have Cordova Middle School has a family wellness center.
Okay.
And the time is from 11 to 7.
Okay.
We have BTW, and the time is from 10 to 6, and Manassas. The time is 10 to 6. And we have a main number, and they can get any one of these sites. 416-1631.
416-1631.
And also we have a social emotional line that from 7 o'clock until 4:30. Well, actually, about 7:30 until 4:30. 416-8484. And it's a line where you can call. You might say, well, I have a student or I'm a parent and I want my child to receive services. Well, we have someone, a live person, to answer that phone and to take that information.
Live. In person.
Yes.
Wow. Now, you said these 3 centers, like what type of things happens at these centers? Now, they're not like a community center. Like we're not going to go up there and play some some spades. It's like, what can parents do in that surrounding community at these parent wellness centers?
Okay, they have like I know they have yoga. They also have like different parent learning, activities or resources, and also the mental health services. Students can go and receive the mental health services.
And I commend the district and you all for the work that you all are doing, because this is the work that you may not be seeing on the news camera or in the newspapers and on social media, because you all come in sometimes after the fact, dealing with the trauma and the different things that's happening. But I do want to say that we appreciate the work that you all do day in, day out, from the 4 years to the 20 years, 20
years.
30 years.
Yeah.
you know, I don't want you to think that that work goes unnoticed. You know what I'm saying? Just because you don't get a pat on the back, whatever. But the work that y'all doing, what y'all just did today, just sharing this information, it's some people that's driving home like, yeah, I know somebody, you know, that may be going through something, and we got some help for them today.
Well, let me give you some other things you can do. Okay, that one thing you can do when you are having the seasonal affect disorder, being under bright lights. It's called phototherapy.
Bright
If
lights.
you can sit under a bright light or stand within a bright light for like 30 minutes, it will elevate your mood.
Wow.
And if you have a situation where the light starts off dim and over a period of time it gets light, bright, 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 symbolic to, you know, this changing of the morning to day, that can stimulate your mood. Changing the colors in your bedroom can stimulate your mood.
What?
Orange, beige, light shades of brown.
What?
These are the colors, and light green can stimulate your mood. So if you have those colors on your bed, it can be paper, it could be fabric,
Right.
or just strips
Just
of either.
colors.
You know, just colors. And that elevates your mood also.
Look at that. Look at you dropping this knowledge out there like that. So, Dr. Johnson, what you got? What you want to add to the fray before
Well, I
we
mean,
get
just
out of here?
to close out, you know, if you know someone who has or is thinking about harming themselves, you can text 988, which is the National Suicide Hotline Lifeline.
Straight up, 988, just them
988.
3 digits.
Yep, that's it.
Man, look, we coming up to the modern times to get help for the people. But thank y'all so much. Is there anything else we need to cover or say before we get out of here? Because I don't want y'all to say, John, we didn't say this and it. Here's the time to get it out.
With boy children, this is
Okay.
my philosophy. Fix the boy so you won't have to repair the man.
Kev, did you hear that? Say that one more time for the people in the back.
My philosophy is fix the boy so you won't have to repair the man.
Ooh, okay, yes, ma'am. I have that. I heard that. Yes,
And
ma'am.
I just like to say again that help is out there. You know, we're in the schools, we're in the community, and I just want to give our line again. The social emotional learning line is 416-8484, and that's the line that you're gonna talk to a mental health clinician. And you can get all the information. They can tell you about referrals or whatever. So we just want our parents to please reach out.
Okay, thank you. Anything else, Dr. John? What you want to say something before we
No,
get out of here?
just for this holiday season and things that have just been happening, you know, out in society in general, just remember to be kind to everyone.
Kind,
Just be kind.
All right. Well, listen, I want to thank Director Goings. She's the director.
She's
Director Donna Goings for, you know, connecting with me to bring this to life. And I want you all to go back saying, Brother John want to see us once a month to talk about different things that's going on. Because right after the seasonal is Happy New Year, and you know, we got all these things we want to do on the first 2 days, and then the next 7 days we done forgot about the things we said we want to do with our New Year's resolutions. But I would love to have y'all come back and continue this conversation on other topics.
Good. And yeah.
Memphis-Shelby County School has the best mental health center around.
In the nation.
She
service.
said that with her chest. This you heard OG in the nation.
The best service.
In the nation.
The
Yes.
the best service come from Memphis-Shelby County Schools Mental Health Division.
So what if it's some people that's listening and say they may want to look for employment? Can they go to the website to see if y'all hiring and different things like that?
Absolutely.
Okay. I just want to make sure. Because anytime somebody said the best in the nation, you want to be a part of that team. You know, that's why I want y'all to come back, because the way y'all delivered this information, you know, it was in an upbeat mood. It wasn't down. And I hope that people took down the phone numbers and we're able to share that information. So thank y'all so
Thank
much.
you.
Donna Goings, thank you so much. I know you're not here, but you're here with us in spirit, and I'm sure you're going to be texting your folks, letting us know we did a good job or not. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get back to the music. And coming up at 5 o'clock, y'all heard about that Christmas tree in Whitehaven in front of Southland Mall. Well, the man that put it together will be here in the studio to talk about how that's going as they get ready to light that tree on this Sunday. So y'all keep it locked. We are 88.5 FM.